stay tuned, guys. Let me know if you guys have any questions. So again, it's your boy Kobe Rising.
It's coming for you, coming for you, It's coming for you, coming for you,
Oh, love. Do not forget the gorillas. Everyone know we the realest. A bunch of go-getters. I bet you can tell I'm the illest. You don't need your fingers to feel it. You know I can straight spit. Knock you out with a late hit. Feel like I'm the one like I'm Neil. But this is the real life, not the Matrix. I'm about to go ape shit.
What it do? This your boy Kobe Rising Rise. We back at it with a banger. Man, listen, I appreciate everybody for tuning in to tonight's show. Again, today is the late show. You feel me? So, we're starting a little late because we want to do things a little bit different, give the people a little bit of a different scene. You dig? Just a little bit of a different type of vibe. You dig what I'm saying? We appreciate everybody for tuning in for the live. You dig? Showtime will be joining here shortly. But I want to make sure I give a shout out to Queen City Organics. Make sure you guys go get the sea moss. We're still kicking it in high gear. Again, get your sea moss. Understand the differences. Go back and look at my videos that I've done on the differences of sea moss. You have the Caribbean sea moss. You dig? You have the Irish sea moss as well. So these are different types of sea moss that gives you different types of benefits, right? So I want to make sure that you guys understand that as well. So make sure you guys tap in with me. You can check my IG. You can check in with me on, Facebook as well. And then if you need some sea moss, just let me know. We do sell it for $30 per jar. It's really good stuff. It gives you a lot of energy. You dig? It's enabling me to continue to give you guys the best quality performance when it comes to the show, when it comes to my workouts, and just in general, just tapping in with everybody. You dig? So yeah, make sure you guys go get that. Another one, if you guys want to have a fresh fit, make sure you guys go to truehighclarity.com. Truehighclarity.com is how you want to live your life. You want to live it true. You want to live it high with clarity. So that is a clothing line that you represent. So that's something that I love. You dig? And the clothes, they fit great. So if you guys want some of that apparel, make sure y'all go check that out. You dig? If anybody's looking for coaching, if anybody's looking to have custom workouts, meal plans, and I'm actually going to give away one of my greatest gifts that I do for myself during this live. And so if you're paying attention to the live, you're probably going to get something that's going to get you way ahead of the game when it comes to getting your macros, your fats, your proteins, and things like that. All right. So what we're doing here, we are tracking your macros. So what does it mean by tracking your macros? Well, let me just give you a definition of macros. So pretty much, and this is from Google, so I'm just going to read it. The term is used to describe the nutrients that your body needs in large amounts, specifically the carbohydrates, fats, and proteins. Macronutrients are basically what your body runs on. You want your diets to have a balance of carbs, fats, and your proteins. So I'll just break it down just step by step. So carbs give your body energy. Protein helps you rebuild and repair your body tissues. Fat is also important because I know we hear the word fat and we automatically think it's bad. You dig what I'm saying? We automatically think it's bad, but not necessarily. Fat is important for feeling full Also, it's good for hormone balance, helping your body absorb certain vitamins such as vitamin A, vitamin D, vitamin E, and vitamin K. Obviously, we're talking about the good fats. We're not talking about the bad fats. So as you can see, we have a Showtime in the building just tuning in. What's
Peace,
going on,
peace.
my
What's
brother? How
going
you
on?
feeling, bruh?
I'm blessed, man. How you feeling?
Mm.
Just hopping on, blessed and favored, brother.
Hey man, I feel man. I see you looking fresh, man. I see you got the collar shirt popping out here. You
Oh
dig what I'm
yeah.
saying?
Oh yeah. You know it. You know it.
Yeah, man, that's a fact. That's a fact. So as you can see today's topic, man, I'm gonna give it some good game. This is actually one of my go-tos is knowing how to track your macros. So this way we can kind of do it. Really, you can use it for anything, for your meats, you can use it for your cheeses, but the best part about it is you can do it for your plant-based diet. You dig? So I'm about to actually give you guys the key. I'm about to give you guys the gem on what I do. You dig on just tracking macros. So I just pretty much went over the basic understanding of carbs, proteins, and fats, and just the importance. But that essentially is your macros. You want to have a nice balance of them all. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add into the comments the site that I use for tracking my macros. But I'm gonna give you guys just some quick game on macros, right? For me, macros are good. It's an important, and I'm gonna have you chime in too and what you think about the show. But I like things from an alkaline plant-based perspective, and so we've done shows talking about the importance of getting your nutrients. So not just macronutrients, but just nutrients as a whole. And what I mean by nutrients as a whole is also understanding your glycemic index and glycemic load, insulin, calories, also understanding vitamin A, vitamin B, vitamin C, getting all your vitamins. We spoke about the periodic table of elements when it comes to food. So, calcium, for example, making sure you're getting your iron. I know, and oxygen. These different types of foods, healthy foods, give you certain percentages of what's in the periodic table that our body uses. So these are your minerals. So when someone says get your vitamins and your minerals, I'm specifically speaking about that as well. So not just your macronutrients, protein, carbs, and fats, but also your macronutrients for your elements, meaning getting your iron, getting your oxygen, you did getting your hydrogen, these things like that. That's going to help you and aid you, not just health, but just elevating you up, above, so you can be at your optimal health. Because that's what we're here to do, is to get you above the grain and to get you above the average. So that's what I do. You know what I'm saying? So I know Showtime, I know you probably can agree with it, but just I guess I just wanted your take on that too. I'm actually pulling up the website as we speak.
Yeah, and I just grabbed the definition, man, and I heard you touching on it when I hopped on. So it basically put up macros is short for macronutrients, a term used to describe the nutrients your body needs in large amounts. Okay, so kind of like my brother's going into, there's all sorts of things that the body needs. We have those different minerals. Mr. CMOS over there could tell you, what the CMOS provides. But when we're speaking about macronutrients, we're specifically speaking about things like you mentioned your carbs, your fats, your good carbs, your bad carbs, your good fats, your bad fats, and your protein. Okay, so macronutrients are basically what your body runs on, and it says you want your diet to have a balance of carbs, fats, and proteins, everything that my brother mentioned. But I want you to, just understand that word macro. That's where macro comes into. Macro, bigger, micro, smaller, so these are the main ones that the body, I won't even necessarily say needs, but when you're trying to, especially us that do those shows, when we're trying to maybe, put on a little bit more mass, it's really important to monitor those carbohydrates, those proteins, those fats, and when you're dealing with weight loss, I hear all the time people that say, my weakness is carbs. That's where those macronutrients play into, especially when you're trying to lose weight. You want to monitor that carb consumption. Make sure you're putting in good carbs, because as the post stated, this is the macros with the body, the primary nutrients that the body, is built off of. The primary, that's our energy coming from our carbs. So everything you hitting on, I'm just kind of reiterating, but you definitely
Right.
hitting on everything, man.
Absolutely. I'm gonna give y'all the game. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use an example, right? So for protein, for example, right now, this specific meal has everything. It has your carbs, it has your protein, it has your fats. Cool. Now the bigger question is how much, right? So right now I'm eating a bowl of lentils as we speak, a bowl of lentils, and they're actually pretty good. So what I did was I'm gonna use lentils as an example of what I mean by keeping track of your carbs. This specific website right here is what I would use to determine how much fat, how many grams of protein, and how many carbohydrates are in let's just say a cup of lentils. So I'm gonna just give you guys an example of that site that I put into the comments. So make sure you guys go check the comments for that specific site that I use for tracking my macros, right? So I'm going to share my screen with you. Give me a second while I pull that up. So here we go. Here we go. So these, there we go. Pull that up. There we go. So you guys can see that. All right. I'm using lentils right now. So this is giving you everything that I'm looking for. It gives you your serving size. This is calories in per 100 grams. All right. It's 116 calories per 100 grams. Essentially, 1 cup is about 240 grams, if that makes sense. So just, you don't have to remember these numbers, but keep these numbers in mind because they're going to be important for tracking your macronutrients, right? And you got your glycemic index. It gives you a number. Glycemic load, it gives you a number. These are the best parts right here. The mineral coverage chart is what I want you to pay attention to, and understand what these type of minerals do to the body. So iron is one big thing that most people say, oh, I don't have low iron. Well, this is per 100 grams. It has 42% of iron in it right there, which is huge. And I'm going to give you guys some more numbers, right? These are just giving you numbers. So the highest mineral coverage on this particular 100 grams of lentils, you get 125% of iron overall in a mineral chart, right? So 42% is 3.3 milligrams per 8 milligrams of iron into these lentils, right? So I'm gonna just give you guys a breakdown. So a lot of these numbers don't make sense, but they'll make sense later. This is relative chart. So iron for a couple lentils, as much iron as in it, it's in the top 18% of all foods. So that should give you a synopsis of and understanding of how much that you're getting. All right. So let us go down here. It also gives you the vitamins. So this is giving you all the vitamins. And now you can do this for any type of food. You don't have to do lentils. I'm using this as an example so you guys can see what this particular food has and what the percentage of vitamins are. So you can see that it's a lot. It's a high percentage of folate, a little bit higher percentage of vitamin B6 and vitamin B1, 7% of B3, 13% of B5, and so forth and so forth. All right. So it still gives you the relative view and the top 15%. Here's the macronutrients. So this is important. So you got your protein, you got your carbs, and you have your fats. So it's very high in protein, if you can see that. It's 18% of your daily value if you have about 9 grams out of the 50. All right. So that's just giving you a synopsis. And you can, again, do this for any food. So that way you can keep track of your macros. So perfect example, if you have 1 cup of lentils, if that's 240 grams, you can use this chart to add up the numbers to see exactly how many grams of protein, carbs, and fats that you will get in that 1 cup of lentils, not including any other meal you eat with it, because you may have some vegetables with it. You may have, maybe a cup of rice to go with it. Who knows, right? But I'm just giving you the breakdown of it. All right. Now, here's the most important part. So we all know what BCAAs are, branched chain amino acids, right? So this is the quality of protein. Guess what? This site gives it to you. Look at everything, all the different types of protein right here. So you can actually see what you're getting. All the amino acids that make up 100% protein. It's all given to you right here. So with lentils, you're getting almost all the values of of complete protein in this one particular food item. And it's plant-based. That's the best part about it. You dig? So this is something I use. It gives you also the different types of fats. You got your saturated fats, monosaturated fats, and polyunsaturated fats. You have literally everything at your disposal. You have your fiber content, how much sugar. Here's the best part that I like. All the nutrients for lentils per 100 grams. It gives you how many calories, how many proteins, how many fats, vitamin C's, net carbs, and everything. And the best part about it is to the right, is comparison. So in the protein section, it's 47% in the top of all foods, which is 3.2 times more than broccoli, right? Same thing with iron. It's 42%. It's in the top 18%, which is 1.3 times more than beef. So it's giving you exactly what you're needing when it comes to tracking your macros. And this is just one specific example. So these are some of the things that I like to see when it comes to tracking your macros. Now, this is just, like I said, one thing about it that you can do to track your macros to ensure that you are in line with your goals when it comes to losing weight or gaining weight the healthy way, getting an efficient amount of fats, carbs, and proteins. Always check your nutrient label as well. Make sure you check your labels on the back of your cartons whenever you buy foods, and keeping a very balanced diet, right? So I just want to give you guys a quick tip. And that's typically what I use to track my macros specifically. You know what I'm saying? It's something important that I like. So I don't know what you think about that show.
Yeah, that's a good site, man. That's a good site to break down. I never seen, nothing that actually break them down like that. I'm used to the MyFitPal, just kind of plugging in and scanning some of the labels. That's one that I used to give just to help people out. But that actually gives you a more in-depth, MyFitPal was just kind of helping track it, your website. And we got to make sure we put that in put that somewhere in the comments or something so they can check it out.
Right there.
But yeah, man, that's pretty cool, man. It breaks it down to the fiber. So
hey, that's
and
real.
It looked like it also gave some recommendations, or was those just other foods at the bottom? I mean at the end of it.
Yeah. So it gave you what was it called? It gave you a comparison. That's what it was. So it compared some of the percentages of, like, let's say protein. So let's say if the protein was, the daily value is 21%. Well, this one gives you, it's in the top 48%. So it was 3.2 more times than X amount of food, whatever it was, right? So, you could do that for fruit too. You can type in your fruit and just see or how much value in the percentage of vitamin A, vitamin C, and you can compare two different foods beside each other on the same site, right? So that's foodstruct.com. So that's something that I use. Again, this is a gem. I don't normally tell people about this, right? But I'm giving y'all the keys. You feel me? I'm just giving y'all the keys so you guys can now do the research. So you're not just saying, oh, well, Cobe and Showtime, they just talking out the side. No, we talking about what we see and what we know. And, the site is backed up as well. So you can check your sources to make sure everything is in line, right? You can also subscribe to the site. What's up?
I said, I'm putting it in now. So I'm bookmark it now so I can play with it tonight.
That's real.
And just check out, check out how it's going. Is it a free portion, or is it one that you pay for too?
This is free. And the source is the FDC, Food Data Central. This is the U.S. Department of Agriculture, so it's the USDA site. So the source is actually coming from a great source. That's what their references are. So don't just be like, oh, this is some old BS site. No, this is their sources is coming from, the USDA. You dig, a Food Administration. So it's not just, some old BS site. That's the main source of information, right? So don't just say, oh, it's just, it's just me. No, they're getting it from who labels everybody's food. So it's not just me. What's going on, Ernest? I see you tapping in with us, man. I hope everything is good with you, man. For real, we all good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll put it into the comments. So make sure you guys go check that comment section. It's foodstruct.com. Foodstruct.com. You dig? So that's what I use typically. Do you track your macros normally, Show, or do you just use that site, the MyFitnessPal, which is a good site too, by the way, y'all, if you haven't noticed.
I used to, And then I've been doing it for so long, man, just kind of eating a certain type of way that I kind of,
Yep.
you know, you get to get in the feel of things, you
Yep.
know,
Get in the
and
groove of it.
especially me, you know, I'm like a dog. They used to say, man, just kind of eating the same thing. I add my
Mhm.
nutrients in because I know some people probably sometimes that's frowned upon
Yep.
when you eat the same thing and don't really mix in. So I definitely mix in my veggies, you know, and get
Mhm.
my good stuff in. Make sure I get the sea moss. I'm back using multivitamins, just making sure I'm getting all my nutrients.
Yep.
But for the most part, man, I eat what I know works. You know, if
Mhm.
that makes sense. I think that's a gym in itself. I eat what I
100%.
know works. You know, I'm not eating too much to get me overweight. You know, I know my mom gave me some cake as a treat, man, and I had it for about, you know, like 5 days. I had to force myself, man. This Mom Dukes, you know, because it's just not my thing. You know, I don't eat off the grid. I don't. If you offer me some cake, some cookies, I'm probably not gonna, you
That's real.
know, I'm not gonna eat it. So, you know, to answer the question, my Fit Pal is one thing that I used to use pretty tough, man, when I track. But like, I definitely want to, you know, I think there's a lot of learning in that foodstruct.com, right? So there's a lot of
Yep.
learning in that, man. Is and just us talking and vibing, it's gotten me want to just kind of look back in and redissect and see where I'm at with a lot of my food choices. And I'm definitely trying to get that 100% plant based, and I think that'll help. But right now, you know, I just kind of know I'm in that groove where I just kind of know, okay, well, this gives me this. You know, these are good carbs. You know, I stay with my good carbs, a high level of protein, a low level of fats. You know, so
That's real. And the best part about it, like I said, you can also compare foods together. You dig? And so it's almost like a versus. Like y'all ever seen the versus battles? You know what I'm saying? I know the iconic one was Dipset and the Locks.
hey,
You know what I'm saying? Well, the Locks tore them up, dog. You know what I'm
um,
saying? You had to compare the two. You feel me? So it's got the best of both worlds. But anyway, the site also has those comparisons, so that way you can actually see the content. So I'm actually I'll share it one more time just real quick so y'all can see what I'm talking about. I just compared real quick chickpeas to chicken, for example. So that way you guys can see that. You dig what I'm saying? So yeah, this is just some differences. So like what are the main differences between chickpeas and chicken meat? So chickpeas is more rich in manganese, folate, copper, fiber, and iron, while chicken meat is higher in B3, selenium, and B6. Chicken meat daily needs of coverage for vitamin B3 is 50% higher, but chickpeas are lower in the saturated fats. So this is just giving you a comparison, but it gives you numbers so you can see, you can match this stuff, y'all. You can match this stuff. So I don't want to hear anything about, well, what's better than what. Well, there's nothing. I'm not gonna say which one's better. I'm just gonna say understand what you're eating and just compare the two so you can see what the differences are, because there are certain benefits to eating chicken, but there's also certain benefits to eating chickpeas, right? And so I have no dog in the fight if y'all gonna do it, because like I said, I'm your plant-based bait. I'm gonna choose the plants all day. But for people who are not, you still have this option so you can actually see some of the differences, right? So it's not about what's better than what. It's just about what you're eating, what it's providing, and what it's doing for your body. That's the most important thing about everything when it comes to food. Is just when you intake this food, what is it going to do? And how is it going to make my body necessarily perform? How is it going to make me think? And how is it going to make me feel after I eat it? And is it going to get to my goals specifically? But the only way that you can measure your goal, you have to measure out what you're eating and you have to measure out what you're doing to give you the best possible outcome all in all. Shout out to Ernest, man. He said I'm gonna check it out. He normally use my Fitness Pal too, and I've used that too. You know, and I was faithful to it. So he's been using it for the last 2 years. Yeah, I've been using it for a while too, man. But ever since I use this site, I mean, it gives me a way better breakdown, way better breakdown. You know, on comparison. But you know, and also when it comes to the mineral content. So, you know, to each his own. Whichever is easier for you, great. Or if you want, tap in with your boys and we'll just get one custom for you automatically made, so you don't have to worry about it. You feel me? But I'm giving you guys again the gems so that way you can see you know what I use. You dig? And that's just a cheat code that I'm using, and I'm giving y'all the game on the cheat codes. You dig? So I didn't want it to be a long show, but I also just wanted to make sure it was important because so you guys can utilize it for the best of your abilities, right? So that was the main thing about tonight's show, was to track your macros, because we know it's important.
And I just want to leave you with a few closing words, man. Ernest brought up a good point. Sometimes, well, first I want to mention that MyFitnessPal is more of a tracker. You know what Kobe just gave us is that's a whole different level. You know, that's a whole different level. It's breaking them down. You know, it's breaking down what's actually in some of the foods. It's comparing the foods. And MyFitPal was never really made to do that. That's more of a tracker. You plug it in.
Yes.
It'll help you, give you some recommendations. Like if you want to gain weight, I remember trying to gain weight. It'll tell me, okay, well, you want to be consuming about 3,800 calories, you know, or you want to be consuming about this much calories. You could scan the back of the barcodes. It'll automatically kind of, you know, just put it in your tracker and add it. So one thing I want to mention before I leave, man, a lot of people, you have to be really honest with yourself when counting any macros or counting anything. You know, like I said, for me, I don't really count it because I'm in a groove and I'm honest with myself. I already know what I'm putting in. So a lot of times I hear people, they track what they want you to hear. You know, they tell you what they want you to hear, especially clients. You know, you tell me about the stuff you're eating, but you don't tell me, or nor sometimes people don't think about the stuff that may be contributing to that overweight, that obesity that you're maybe not looking at or maybe not tracking. You know, I know there's a lot of liquid calories that people don't necessarily tell me about. People always tell me, if you're doing everything right, man, you should be hitting them goals. And I'm not knocking or not, you know, not trying to criticize anybody, but if you're doing everything right for those amount of years, you should be hitting those goals. You know, so I want you to really be honest with yourself. That's for anybody that's using any type of tracking method. Don't just track it, you know, to be tracking it, track it to get better with it. You know, so if you see, okay, well, man, every day my goal is supposed to be 1,200 calories, but every day I'm hitting 1,600 calories, then you need to adjust. You need to make a hard adjustment. And if you're looking at those things and you feel like you're tracking everything, maybe look a little deeper, see what you aren't tracking. I used to tell people all the time, man, a cup of apple juice, a cup of orange juice, that's like 180 to 150 calories per 8 ounces. You feel me? So if you're drinking those orange juices and trying to stay under a certain calorie amount and not tracking that orange juice, that apple juice, that fruit juice, that, you know, that whatever, then you're doing yourself a huge disservice. You're just kind of tracking and you're really not being extremely honest with your tracking. That's one thing I had to harp on with my clients all the time. I'm like, yo, man, if you're doing everything that you're tracking in MyFitPal, then we should be hitting these goals. There's something that we're not tracking. Are we tracking those late night snacks when we get that craving? I want you to be honest with yourself. The only way we can get better is if we're honest. You know, so just, you know, make sure you share this video out to somebody that needs it. You know, I want you to hit those goals. That's for everybody. If you're just tracking just to track, you know, I want you to track and be successful. But if you're at a comfortable weight, if you're, you know, if you're maybe understanding it, that's cool too. But just make sure you're being extremely honest with yourself. I hear it every day, man. People tell me all the time, oh yeah, I'm eating this. I'm eating a salad. Oh, I fasted. I didn't do this. Man, but what did you do that contributed to why we're not hitting those goals? If I see you day after day after day, and you telling me you do everything right and we're not seeing results, those are the people, man. I'm just, you know, I'm not even going to say nothing because you're not being honest with yourself.
Yeah.
You know? So I'll leave you with that, man. Just really be honest with yourself. If we have some weaknesses, some cravings, you know, are we putting the cake? Are we putting a little Debbie cakes, man? If you go to Food Lion, crash the Debbie cakes and don't put that on your MyFitPal,
come on,
we doing ourselves a huge disservice.
Come on,
feel me? If you drinking a whole bunch of your weaknesses, whatever high calorie drinks, man, you go to my daughter like the Calypsos, man, the little sweet drinks at the gas station, man. If you like the Calypsos, you drinking a bunch of them and they like what, 200 something, 300 calories per drink, you're doing yourself a huge disservice because you're not tracking them. So make sure if you're tracking honest. You know, be honest with yourself and try to hit those goals.
That's real. That's real. And I'll pick it back off of that, man, because essentially what he's saying is be honest with yourself. You dig? Be honest about yourself and be self-aware about what you're doing, because you dig, if you're not self-aware about what you're doing, how are you gonna know what is not getting you to your goals. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, if you just drinking a bunch of orange juice and all this other stuff, and you wondering why you're not necessarily losing weight like that, if you're self-aware enough, I mean, hey, you just got to look at, I have been drinking a lot of sugars lately. Maybe I should cut back on the sugars and see what kind of, let me see what the results come about, and that comes from being self-aware and just keeping track on that and just really checking yourself and being honest. Just say, you know what, this may not necessarily be working, even though we think it is, right? So it's always about just checking ourselves, understanding what we're doing, you dig, and so that way we can get to our goals. You feel me? So in the site, and I'll pretty much sum it up to just, I'll go back to the site. It's not just a site where you can, look, you can compare foods or whatever. You can also utilize it to create your own workout plan, not workout plan, I'm sorry. You can use it to cut your own meal plan. Like there's an option in there where you can look up foods that are high in protein. You can look up foods that are low in carbs. So if you're on a keto diet, I know keto is really low on carbs, so you want to look up something that's high in protein, high in fats. But let's say if you're a vegan, it has a vegan option, and you can stay in a glycemic range for people who are, have high sugars, diabetes or whatnot have you. There's no excuse. You feel me? There's no excuse at all. You dig what I'm saying? So go to the site. That's what I use. You feel me? And just, and like sometimes say, just be honest. Be honest. Check yourself. You dig? So you can get to your goal. So you're not just, just wondering and complaining about anything. You feel me? And in worst case scenario, if you do not know how to do this, tap in with Showtime. Tap in with Cobe. We do this. Literally. You just heard Showtime. He don't even need to track his macros because he already know. I've done it for 10 years. He don't have to. He can look at his food and know, I'm getting this. This is where I know how I'm gonna get to. Effortlessly. You don't have to. And you all can do the same. I do the same too. I don't have to track it, but I know I do sometimes, because when I do shows, you have to have a certain, macronutrients to get you there, to get you to a certain look. But that may be a video for another day. You know what I'm saying? Let's get to these comments real quick. Yeah. Little word of encouragement from Ernest, man. The only way to invest yourself is to pray and to beg God. So always stay prayed up, y'all. Always stay prayed up. You dig? So not to mention clean eating. Yes, eating clean. I agree 100%, and that's why I do plant-based, because it's a clean way of eating. You know what I'm saying? I do my sea moss, I drink my water, even when I do coffee, I do it no cream, no sugar. Well, people look at me crazy when I tell them I drink black coffee.
Yeah.
It's the most healthiest way to drink your coffee, even though it doesn't taste that great. I don't necessarily drink for taste anymore. I mean, I'm sure you do the same thing. I don't necessarily eat or drink for taste. I eat and drink for a purpose. You dig? And that should be everybody's real goal. If you're going to digest something, make sure it's doing something for you, not just for taste. Because I think a lot of us are slave to food. I saw a post about that 2 days ago. Some people are a slave to that food.
Yeah. And two more things, man. That's a whole another topic for another day too, man. It's just
real.
Reconditioning the palate. A lot of times we've conditioned our palate to, like the sweets, like the sodas, like the cookies, like the cakes, and that's what it's designed to do. So that's definitely a topic we could definitely cover on another day. Just reconditioning your palate. That's why fasts are good. Staying away from some of that stuff, trying to be disciplined. And I also wanted to add, man, I know I could be extremely direct and aggressive with my approach when I say, be honest with yourself. But I wanted to say to be patient. It's not going to come overnight, but I just want you to be honest. So when I see people out in the streets and they telling me, they love to tell me their goals, they love to tell me what they're doing right, but I want to nip it in the bud. So I want to see what you're doing wrong. I want to know what the sweets, I want to know what you're snacking on, what's on your bedside table. I want to know what you're doing in the dark.
They don't even talk about that. Boy, they got the Applejack right by the bedside, ready to eat. Right before they go to bed, they eating all that food. They got the cake right there. They probably got it right now watching this video. Munching on them Rice Krispie treats.
And I really do this, man. So you can't fool me. I put in the work, so I look exactly like I'm supposed to look. So when I say it, man, I don't mean no harm by it, man. That's for anybody. I really want us to be successful, and we can't be successful until we true to self. So I'll leave you with that, and definitely be patient, man. If you're not there yet, you're not there yet. Don't lie to yourself. Don't lie to me. Don't lie to my brother Cobe. Don't lie to nobody. Don't lie to just be real, man. I'm not there yet, man. I still got some donut habits. I still got some cookie habits. I love somebody that can be honest and I could help you. Me and my brother Kobe, we could then help you try to find solutions to kill some of those cravings. You know, it's not easy. I know you probably a little bit more plant-based than I am. I done slid back a little bit, but you know, we can speak to you just about some of the disciplines that we carry. So you definitely got to be honest with us, be honest with yourself. And if you need that hand, Kobe done mentioned it twice, tap in with your boys. We can get you. That's that. I'll leave you with that.
Man, I wasn't even started plant-based, y'all. Y'all gotta think, man, I'm a country boy. You know, like what J. Cole say, I'm a country boy in the city. You dig? I was raised up on pork chop, you know, eggs, bacon, onions and potatoes. I mean, you name it. Man, we used to scramble eggs and bacon grease, dog. Come on. They don't know anything about that. You feel what I'm saying? Like, so you gotta think, I was raised up on all this stuff, you know, it didn't take just overnight for me to change. It was overnight for me to make that commitment to say I'm at least do my best. But the everyday struggle was there. So I always struggle with it, man. I still love the smell of bacon. I still love the smell of ribs. You dig? You can't beat that at no cookout. So I know. Trust me, I know. And I still have the same cravings like everybody else does. I want my sweets sometimes. You know, I want my meats and sugars and sodiums, and I want all that sometimes. You dig? You know, and I also understand the bigger goal. So I kind of look at like which one going to give me the most pain, because I know short-term pleasure isn't necessarily going to be the long-time, you know, result. You dig? It may be the result that I'm not looking for. It may be the result that, you know, may end it all. So I already know with that in my mind, I'm gonna choose the one that's gonna get me thriving and it's gonna get me above the odds. You feel me? What's going on, Ross Style, Ross Spec, brother? You dig what I'm saying? Shout out to you. We gotta get you back on the show. But man, we can go all day. You know, man. We can talk this thing all night, but we're gonna get up out of here. We appreciate everybody for tuning in. We really gave y'all some gems. This is really a gem that I use for real. So, man, listen, this is a key that y'all want y'all to use. Just utilize this, be patient, tap in with us. You dig? So we can get you to your goals. You know, we're gonna get up out of here. Showtime, I appreciate you like always, brother. We're gonna keep rocking, we're gonna keep it rolling. You dig what I'm saying? So when we face with an obstacle, what we do,
You rise and rise, baby.
peace.